they are doing it.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
Corey, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear.
Okay, good. So hopefully people will log back on. We're gonna give Monte and them a chance to log back in real quick. Yeah, it was like repeating itself and everything. I didn't get
Right,
that.
yeah.
So hopefully people will
Now I
log
do
back.
hear a delay with mine, but I can hear you.
Okay.
It's
You
more with mine.
okay? Do you have any earphones?
Hmm.
Okay, try putting your earphones on and see what happens then.
Okay. No. Well, yeah. There it is.
Yeah, that was weird. And we was just talking.
Hmm. And there was no delay while we were talking, and then it just like now I'm talking, but it's echoing. But
Okay, can you
it's
hear me
fine.
now?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good. That's good. So you can hear me. So while we're waiting for Monty and John to log back in, so Corey, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you are a worship leader at your church. So tell us a little bit about you and what you are doing, and yeah, just give a little history about you, man.
Okay. Well, I started singing at 3. My mom used to sit at the piano with me and teach me songs. My family actually is come from a family of musicians and professional singers and artists and stuff like that. So they all sing. About almost 98% of my grandmother's side, they all sing or play. And my stepfather played as well. So I was just surrounded by music. Always had a love for music. As I said, my mom would sit at the piano and teach me harmony, pop my hand whenever I got off key. But it was and then I grew up singing in the choir in church. My grandmother was the minister of music at the church that I grew up in, and so I always ended up having to sing solos and singing for the broadcast and all that stuff. I hated it sometimes because I felt like I was always being put on the spot, but I grew
Yeah.
to love it. Um, and then all through school and in the community, I participated in choirs and um, singing groups and started recording in high school with different groups as well um, in my city. And here I am now, um, trying to do the artist thing on my own. So,
Yeah. Now,
yeah.
did you write and produce your music and everything?
I wrote, arranged, but then I had a producer that I work with out of St. Louis. His name is Levi Two King.
Okay.
He's quite a few people that you definitely have heard of. He's worked with Men of Standard, Kimberell, God's Chosen, Megan Williams, a lot of people that came out of St. Louis. I think Cedric Shannon Reeves as well, if you've heard of him. But there are quite a few artists that he's worked with as well.
Oh wow, wow. And so, so how important was it for you to connect with the right producer? Because a lot of times we can connect with producers that try to take us in a different direction than where we were, are trying to go. And they can
Right.
change the whole dynamic of
Yeah.
everything, our style, our ministry, and all of that. So how important was it? Like, was he the first person you went with and you knew that was, where you was going, or did you try out several people before you settled with him?
Yeah, well, I actually the single that's out now, I actually recorded it live several years ago, and the
Okay.
recording was lost. So that was an experience all in itself. But I had already worked with this producer before on other like singing background on other artists projects, and then of course with some of those artists that I named, I actually led on one of their projects. But I don't know. He was very comfortable to work with. We know each other. We've known each other for years. Um, and he's really big at making sure that we stay true to your sound. and who
Yeah.
you are as an artist. So it was very, very easy to work with him. Um, he is a slave driver. We worked really, really hard for a few days to get that and some other material done. But it was a great experience for me because I felt like I could be comfortable being exactly who I am, um, and that was it. Yeah.
Right. Oh, wow. So tell us a little bit, because I absolutely love Freedom. I mean, it is like
Wow.
an amazing worship song. So those of you who haven't heard
Thank
it,
you.
make sure you go out tonight. Freedom by Corey Barrett. It is like phenomenal. So when you wrote that song, like, what were you going through when you wrote the song?
Honestly, and it's crazy. I was my live recording. The name of it was free. So all of the songs and the theme of that session was dealing with freedom. And I had, like, the day before the recording, we were doing sound check, and I kept saying, "I need another song. I need another song." And literally, like the night before, I just kind of started humming it while I was worshiping and praying, and there it is. So it was, I just needed another song, and I just started singing the first part of the song, and it just went from there. And then we were able to just kind of get with the band and sing it that night. And then of course I recorded it over for this session.
Wow. And it's such an amazing song. And it's interesting that you said that you needed an extra song, because a lot of times when you artists record that filler song, you can tell it's a filler song, because
Right.
it's
Right.
like, what were you doing when you wrote this,
Hmm.
stuff.
Hmm.
But with the song, it is like amazing, man. And I mean, I think
Wow.
it's your
Thank
second
you.
verse. You gave everything for me. You gave your
Yes.
life for me. When
Yes.
I heard that, because of course I write too, and I'm a lyric person.
Hmm.
So when I heard that, I just was like, I mean, I played that over and over and over again, because that is
Wow.
such an amazing song. I mean, you did an exceptional job
Wow.
on that, man.
Thank you. Thank you so
Wow.
much, man. Wow.
Wow. Wow. Wow. Okay,
To
so we're
God be the
gonna
glory,
send.
man.
Exactly. So we're gonna send you back, and then we're gonna bring out John, the guy who's singing the
Okay.
devil's music. We're gonna bring him out, and we'll
Ah.
bring you back.
Okay.
All right, we'll bring you right back,
Thank you.
man. What up, John?
What's good, bro?
You singing the devil's music out there, man? What's
I
up with that,
am. I
dude?
am. I mean, that's what somebody got to do it. So,
And your parents are like, your dad is a pastor and everything.
yes,
So how did that happen? So you grew up in church,
I did.
and then how did your parents receive that? Because you like an extraordinary instrument. And
Hmm.
of course, people always want to say, well, you need to be using that gift for the Lord only.
Absolutely.
But you're
Absolutely.
singing secular music. So, like, how did that come about? And how did your parents accept it?
So, the transition wasn't easy. I did grow up in church. I was leader of the praise team for years. So, me, taking that step to sing secular music, my mom, my parents, they were kind of, apprehensive about it at first. But they came to a show at a lounge, and I was very hesitant to really let go and just be who I was on stage, based on the simple fact of my parents are pastors. And I kind of felt a little ashamed, I guess you would say, because I
Yeah.
didn't want the congregation looking at them like, hey, how can y'all teach us and y'all son is doing XYZ? So it was a struggle for me, but they sat me down one day and was like, hey, this is your dream. God blessed you with the gift, so do you. I can't say they 100% agree, but because they're supportive, they allow me to do what I do. So it was more so of a struggle on my end versus them. But yeah, so that was
Wow.
pretty much that transition there.
And that's pretty big though, man, for you to say your parents came to a lounge to support you.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, by them being leaders in the church, that I mean, that is like pretty big of your
Yeah.
parents. And that is like That's amazing
It,
because a
it was
lot
it
of
was
people.
huge. It was huge because of course I wouldn't put them in a a situation or a place where it would be uncomfortable for them. So it was definitely a place that I thought, they would be able to come and enjoy and not feel condemned about anything. But it was I think it was a great move for them to see me in that setting, in that light, so they
Right.
can understand the type of music that I'm singing, and just doing what I love to do.
Yeah. So tell us about your latest single that you have out. I think you released it towards the end of last year.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell us about that. And did you wrote that song, right?
So same energy. I actually sent my cousin a track that I found on YouTube, and I was like, "Yo, I want it to be this type of concept." Like, I told her about a situation I walked through, which she already knew. So I sent it to her, which she's a phenomenal writer. She's a phenomenal producer. So she sent me back what she came up with. I did some tweaks and did some arrangement to it, and I recorded that back in 2019. So that's how it came about. And the track that I actually recorded it to originally, the guy ended up selling it, so I had to reach out to another dope producer and have him redo the track, and then that's what we came up with.
Right. So I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked Corey. Like, how important was it for you to find the right producer? Because I think a lot of times now, artists that are independent,
Hmm.
they get involved with producers that aren't even in the same genre that they're in or
Hmm.
have the same feel that they have. And then they get these producers, and then the music, you can tell that there was a clash in different
Hmm.
styles. So how important was it for you to find a producer that matched what you were doing?
I think at the time, the producer that actually ended up recording the track, I've never worked with him before, and I heard his music on a couple of my friends' albums, and so just listening to his work, it was already something that I was like, "Yo, I like his chord progressions. I like how he formats the song." So
Yeah.
I just reached out to him, was like, "Hey, can you do this?" And he ended up doing it, and it came out really dope. Yeah, he added
Yeah.
some elements to the song. I was like, "Oh, okay, I got it." Yeah,
Because
so
when I listen to your melodies on the song, I mean, it's like you can hear a little J Moss, you can hear Clark Sisters, of course, because the parts are so
wait a minute.
intertwined.
What part in the song is a part of Clark Sisters?
Oh
Like
my goodness! Don't even try to, man. Them harmonies are just like they are stacked so tight, and the
Yeah,
notes like because we normally used to hearing 1 3 5,
yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah.
chorus, but like for you, you were like it was just unbelievable. And I
Appreciate
actually
it.
I should have remembered the words because I posted a little bit of clip of it,
Okay.
and them harmonies were just like they was just like on point, man. And when I heard it,
I
I was just
appreciate
like,
it.
dang, this is J Maz.
Yeah, I
Of
appreciate
course, I
it.
went back to your roots, the Clark, I mean, church,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, this is them all day long. So it was phenomenal. So
I appreciate it.
how did you get started, like with your music?
Oh man, I can't even tell you. The only thing I can really think about is from the time I can remember walking and talking, like I've always been in love with music and I've always enjoyed singing. It wasn't, I can't really tell you a start. Like I've just always done it. I've always had a love for it. So pretty much, of course, church, of course, being in the choir, didn't have a choice. You had to sing,
Yeah.
um, or be a part of something in the church. But of course, music was just something I gravitated to. I loved it. I sat around it. My mom is a phenomenal singer. My aunts, everybody in my family, pretty much. So I kind of grabbed from everybody. Like even my dad's side of the family, they're all musicians. So like it was all around me, man.
Yeah. Now, do you play?
I do.
Oh, really? So
I
you
do. I do.
keys?
Keys, drums, a little bit of the bass. My dad is a bass player, so I picked up the bass a couple of times, but I'm not great at it at all. My fingers, it ain't made for it. At all. Nah, I'd rather sit behind a microphone and just sing, man.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so and you have another track out beyond same energy you put out before. What tell us a little bit about that track.
So I was a feature on Reflections, which is by the artist Lawyer Turner. amazing singer, amazing songwriter. Like he does it all. Arranger, like the dude is dope. So definitely read, like listen to his stuff. So he reached out to me. I do some work with Gang Gang. I also do some work with Miracle Foster. She's a phenomenal singer, like so jazzy, and that tone is like unmatched.
And this
So,
is the truth about Miracles. So I know Miracle's
yes,
mom, right? I've worked with her mom for years, and no lie, I've known Miracles since she was like 5 or 6 years
yeah,
old,
yeah,
coming to musicals in church with her mom. And I
yeah,
recently saw her, and I was like, "Oh my God, you done grew up!" Because I've only known her as the kid. But like
yeah.
you said, Miracle is
Unmatched,
unbelievable,
man.
man. Oh my God.
Unmatched. Every time I hear her sing, I'm just like at all. Like she never amazes me. Like it's just this girl is dope. But
Yeah,
he reached out to us because we do a lot of work together. He reached out to us and asked us to be a part of his song, and it was an honor for me.
yeah.
Yeah,
And like John said, for those stop, go check out Lawyer. I've worked
yeah,
with Lawyer. He's sung on my track. He Reigns. And this guy, I mean, his latest
dope.
project is Mirror.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
just like, I mean, it's unbelievable. You can start that CD at the very beginning,
No
never
skips.
skip a tune.
No
Never
skips.
skip a tune, man. It's like great workout music. It's inspirational. And
Yeah,
he is taking his message to like a completely
different
different
audience.
level. Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yes,
Unbelievable.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna send you back, and we're gonna
Okay.
bring Monte out, the one hit wonder that sings one song at everybody's church and bounce on us. We're gonna bring that brother out, and we'll see you in a second. What up, one hit wonder? Unmute your mic there for us, Monte.
Appreciate it. Hey,
What
I'm
up, man?
doing all right. What's up?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good. One hit wonder.
So a little bit about Monte. Monte actually was in my choir at a church I played for, and this guy is like amazing. He's a great singer, and he sung one time, and then I think that next Sunday we never saw that brother again. So he left the church, everything. I'm like, what did we do to run this brother off? But Monte, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
So about me, currently I'm an educator. On my music side, though, similar to everyone else, I grew up singing in the church, started singing in the choir. Actually, when I tell my story, I always tell people it was music that brought me to salvation. Because I was like 6 and I wanted to sing in the choir at our church. And the pastor and everyone was like, well, you gotta get saved. You can't sing in the choir if you're not saved. You gotta know what you're singing about. So I was like, okay, well, I gotta get saved because I'm trying to be in the choir. So I received salvation, started singing in the choir like about 6 years old. I sang my first solo actually at school when I was 8. But no one really knew that I could sing like solos until about
Yeah.
the age of like 13. I was real shy. I didn't like singing in front of people. So 13, the church kind of opened me up, got me singing solos at the church. And um, I remember the last year before I went off to college, like they had me like calling me up to the mic like every Sunday. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what got my foot into the door with music. And then while in college, of course, I continued using my gift and entered into different competitions. Exiting college, I sang on the worship team at Joel Osteen's church, Lakewood, down in
Oh
Houston.
wow.
That was where I got a lot of mentorship just from the worship pastors there, Stephen Deidre Crawford from Anointed. They kind of poured a lot into us as members of the team, just as far as for using our gifts appropriately and also tapping into worship and leading others into worship. And so from there, I went on to lead worship at other churches. And actually, also at Lakewood, that was where I kind of got a little bit of an intro into music because I was able to do like BGV vocals for Steve Crawford on some of his stuff. And then Cindy Ratcliffe Cruz on one of her projects. Actually got some credits on that one, so that was dope. And then came back to Dallas. Like you said, was singing at a few churches here. Went to New York City. I was working in New York City in education, but also doing music on the side. As far as for my discography, I put out my first single in 2018 while I was living in New York with All That I Am. And then when I moved back to Dallas, I put out my second single, which is Thirst, and then my current single out now, that's Give This Love Away, GTLA.
Yeah, and dude, I love that. So tell me this here. How did you decide to go with more of an acronym, or, opposed to just, hey, we just going to go with the title? What was your creative process and thinking when you went with the acronym opposed to just putting it all out there?
So I was torn between the title of the song because there were portions of the song where it's saying This Great Love. So I was tempted to name it This Great Love, but I was like, the whole message of the song is about us being vessels of love and how we are loved freely so that we can give love away freely, regardless of whatever, just unconditionally. So I was like, the main focus of the song is about giving love away to others. And as far as for the acronym, I was honestly inspired by what's the dude's name? I think his name is like Jason Armstrong. He's an artist. I want to say it's Jason. He has a song out called Let Him Use You, but it was LHUY. And so I was like, okay, I like how he did that because it kind of sparks his curiosity of like, well, what are these letters? Like, what does this mean? And as you listen to the songs, like, oh, Let Him Use You, it kind of correlates together. So I was really inspired by another artist who kind of used an acronym for theirs to do.
Wow.
That's where it came from.
And I mean, it's such a it's such a cool song. I mean, it's like real upbeat. And like I share with you, it kind of like, it sounds nothing like this song, but when I listen to it, because it's a feel good song. Mm-hmm. And when I first heard it, it reminded me a little bit of Donna Lawrence's song. I think, Back to Eden, that kind of like feel when you hear you just instantly like start moving with it. So yeah, it's really good. And then you released the video for it. So tell us about the video. Like, how long did it take you to shoot that?
So the video released last week, actually on this past Wednesday. We shot that in a day. Actually, we shot that. So real background story. The first video I shot in LA. And that one didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but I was really excited about shooting in LA because I wanted the scenes and the imagery of LA. So I was kind of bummed out about it, but I reached out to a friend of mine here who does videography, and we shot that one like on a Saturday morning. I just reached out to my friends here. I was like, hey, let's pull up to the spot near downtown and let's just do it. So the whole premise around that video was just creating a kickback, like just a social kickback with friends, having a good time, spreading love amongst each other. And just, I wanted it to really have like a good summer kickback feel, because a song to me is like a summer song. When I listen to it, it makes me think of chilling with friends. And so that's what I wanted to recreate with the people. So we booked a space, did it on the rooftop, did a few scenes here and there, and it actually just came together really quick. And everyone that participated, they had a really good time shooting the video because it wasn't scripted as much. It was just, let's just have a good time. So we did a little line dancing, and we even did a little Soul Train part, but that didn't make it to the video. But it was just really just recreating a kickback, like, because that's what I wanted people to experience or possibly play this song when they're like with their friends and like having a good time. And the inspiration with that, I feel like I'm talking a lot. My other two songs, I like those songs a lot, but whenever I would go out with my friends and they would try to like play it for the people at the party, it just didn't fit with the party scene. It was like we all turning up or whatever, and then we're playing Thirst or turning up and playing With All That I Am. And I was like, y'all, this is kind of killing the vibe. So I wanted to make music that I actually listened to and music that I could bring people in, and regardless to the setting that we're in, whether we're at a kickback, whether we're about to hang out or whatever we're doing, we could just turn it on and be like, oh yeah, this is dope. Like, I like this. And so that's what I wanted to recreate in the music video.
And you feel that. I mean, because when you look at the video, you feel exactly what you just described. I mean, it's like, it makes you smile. So it's one of those things that make you smile. So the vision you had from it, it is like definitely shining through. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it makes me smile too when I listen to it. In fact, I still listen to it on repeat.
Oh wow, nice. And that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. And one other thing, I didn't know about this about you until I saw your email. You're a part of Alpha Phi Alpha.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, we're
Nine.
gonna bring
Oh,
everybody else back in. 190 psych. Yeah, we're gonna bring everybody else in here. Hold on, let's get these brothers out here. What up, Corey? What
Yo,
up, John? So we got all you guys back out here. So thank y'all again for being on the podcast. So we lost a little time with that technical difficulty earlier, but I definitely want to ask you guys. So like, what was one of the first lessons you learned after you released your single? Like, were there any surprises? Did you go in with unrealistic expectations? And whoever want to go first, you can go.
I'll talk about it. So every time I release a single, I learn something new. I make a lot. Every single time I make mistakes. And on my little vlog that I have, I always try to talk about them. Like, don't be afraid to like take risks and make those mistakes and turn those mistakes into lessons. So like for me, the first time I released a single, it was just like registering it with all the different entities. I wasn't totally sure. Like with, you got to get with, you got to get your publisher, get with either is it ASCAP or BMI. And there's so many other things that you have to register with. And so my first thing, I made a lot of mistakes on that one. The second one, the mistakes that I was making was just like rolling it out in marketing, how you do your publicity and stuff like that to draw people to your music. That was the second one. And this third one for me has been honestly just again with the content. My goal was to put the video and the song out at the same time, but that didn't work out. So I always make mistakes and I always learn little lessons here and there. So it's been a journey for me, definitely.
Okay. Corey, John, what about you guys? What lessons have you learned?
I know my rollout was definitely something that I can learn from. I'm a perfectionist, so I was so in a rush to kind of get it done. And once I came up with a date, I was like, yo, I got to push it. But my rollout wasn't really thought out completely. I had some ideas, but then when those ideas didn't fall in place the way I would like them to, wanted them to, I was just like, oh, well, we just going to do what we do. So I think the next go around, I'll definitely sit down and really plan it out, regardless of how long that takes. I'll definitely be more patient in that process.
Okay. And what about you, Corey?
Yeah, I would honestly both guys. I would say the same thing. I was in a rush to get it out because I hadn't released any music in a while, and I had so much going on with like family members passing and just and I was kind of dealing with grief at the same time, and it was just kind of like, okay, you can't just not release it. Go ahead and get it out. Then I ran into an issue with distribution with me setting the date and them. I had to like contact their customer service because it wasn't released on that date. So I didn't pub it online or say anything because I was waiting for it to drop on all the outlets the distribution outlets. And so especially iTunes, because most people we know have iTunes. And they fixed the issue or whatever it was. But I would say the exact same thing that both of the fellas said.
Yeah, because when you roll out songs, I think people just think like, okay, you put a song out and then you just release it. No, there's like different things you have to do. There are different things you have to do. And especially like you said with distribution, because iTunes normally kind of like can be one of the last ones to really put your stuff
to
out
actually
there.
Upload your music.
To upload your music. So it's a process. And then depending on, because the couple of songs I've released, I've gone through CD Baby. And sometimes they get behind. They have a lot of releases. So your stuff kind of like get pushed back on that stuff. So you can't say, oh, I'm going to release this in 2 weeks and you send it to them in 2 weeks. It may not be out there.
Exactly.
It may not be out there. So you need to really plan for that, like John said. Okay. So let me ask you guys this here. So did y'all already platinum?
I wish.
Ain't that how to help? You drop a tune and then your family support you and they share it and your friends support you and they share it.
Man,
Did you
say
guys experience that?
they can only listen to it so many times in a day.
Yeah. So many times. So okay, let's talk about that whole streaming thing because see, like when I first came out with, well, when I first started in music, we sold CDs, so it was a little bit different. Like right now, so if you stream, you may have 10 tracks on your project, but they only listening to one. So like back in the day when we sold CDs, regardless of whether they listened to every track on that song, you got paid as a songwriter because you had a song on there. It's not that way anymore.
Nah.
So with streams, how do you guys like feel about streams? Like, and share like a little bit, how long does it take to recoup the cost you paid to get it out there?
I think it's totally different with streaming. It definitely opened up the way we release music, the way we feel about art, a complete body of work, and just catching the attention of the consumer at this point. Like, it's so much music out there, and it's so much music that's being put out there at one time. Somebody will listen to your stuff, and then they on to the next because it's so quick. It's moving. So you have to just keep up with how can I pretty much put out a body of work if that's something that you're interested in, or a single, and capture them and keep them where I want them. So I don't think it's nothing wrong with it, but it's just about being creative and kind of how you release it and put it out there.
Okay.
I like streams. I always encourage people, and I buy music. So if it's especially with people I really support, like I'll go and purchase the music and I'll also stream because I just understand how the algorithm works with streaming. As far as to answer your question with recouping your expenses on streams, like you have to be like in the millions. So that doesn't
because people don't understand, it's like 0.001
Yes, not much.
Cent per stream you get. So like to make $1,000, you dab near got to have 100,000 streams to make $1,000, and people don't get that. So it is best that you kind of like go old school with these songs and these singles. Go to Amazon or wherever, iTunes, and purchase it. You know, that way the artists get more money from it, and they still don't even get a lot of money. I mean, people, it's 99 cents. iTunes is going to get their money. Whoever you distribute it to, they're going to get their money. So it's not like you are getting the full amount there. So with promoting, how do you guys go about with promoting your stuff? Because we have social media, but there are algorithms and everything there. So how do you guys go about promoting it?
So there is social media, and then there's also, which is the lesson I learned from the last project, because same thing y'all mentioned with, I just ready to get one out. This one I've learned that investing in your work and your art is important, like because the way the algorithm is set up now, which is what as recent as of like this year, we didn't have to worry about the algorithm as much. Like anyone that followed you would see your stuff for the most part. But now the algorithm is set up to where people hardly see it. So you have to be willing to cough up some extra change and spend money on the promotion side. A lot of times you spend more money promoting than you did creating the project. And so I tell my friends, like, music is not cheap, especially as an independent artist, when you don't have those machines that are standing behind you that kind of can already like move for you. You have to put the financial backing behind the promotion. So if that's, creating ads on social media, going through a radio promotion campaign, something, which those are not cheap. Those cost money.
Yeah. And
I think you want to get your stuff out and be heard, and for someone to discover you, then you have to kind of put yourself out there financially also.
Yeah, spend money to make money. And I mean, I think like this is one thing I got to give her props for this here, like this latest CD Beyonce put out. She sold actual CDs to
Right.
make some of that money because music is not doing the way that it used to do. You know,
Yeah.
like back in the day, she would probably go a million in the first week. I think this last time she only went 300,000 in her first week.
Right.
And this is Beyonce. So just imagine an
Right.
independent artist that, you know, you out there, you struggling, you really trying to make it work. So people
Mhm.
support the artists out there. And fellas, we have a question for you guys. It's going to show up on the screen here. So she asked, what are you all doing to bridge the gap with other brothers to encourage other brothers and build up our communities and inspire more brothers to work in the church with sisters? So y'all encouraging guys to go to church? Monte?
Yeah. Well, I am.
I am not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beyond the church for me. It's just about coming
I
together
agree.
as a community. Period. It ain't got to be in
Yeah.
church. It can just be
Yeah.
wherever you are. Just work
Yeah.
together as your,
Absolutely.
brother and sister. So it's beyond the church for
Yeah.
me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In
I
ministry,
agree.
like you, oh, go ahead, Corey.
No, I was just saying I agree. Even at work, it never fails that everybody ends up finding out that I'm a church boy and I sing
Mhm.
and I minister and all of that. I never say it to anybody that I work with because I want to separate the two, and I would want them to find out organically like who I am. But it never fails. They're like, hey, so and so saw you at, and one of the employees came to work with like a video of seeing me do worship, and then they just went all around the job. But I mean,
Mhm.
with stuff like that, like I would rather be organically just working together, doing things in a community, not always having to be in the actual church house, but sometimes just being at a gathering and just having a conversation with people and just being down to earth, just being normal, being transparent. I feel like that kind of draws people a little more than me handing you a track and inviting you to my church on
Facts.
Sunday.
Facts. And I can't
Yeah.
tell you how many times that even in my devil's music, as Patrick will say, so many people even during that setting will come up to me and tell me like, yo, there's an anointing on your voice, like there's something
Absolutely.
about it.
Yep.
So that's why it transcends the four walls of a church.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes,
Exactly.
sir.
For me,
Yes, sir.
ministry happens in several different ways.
Yeah.
So as an educator, even though I'm not directly, ministering or preaching the gospel, there's ministry that takes place as an educator, and I'm imparting, wisdom and mentoring
Yeah.
the youth that will lead
Yeah.
tomorrow. So
Facts.
it's a light that we have within us, and I think that's what's happening. What's happening right now is a shift where, of course, you have
Yeah.
the millennials who are not as active in church.
Right.
Right.
And I feel like there's a clashing between the generations, because you have the previous generation that feels, they're still holding or clinging to the tradition, where you have the generations that are coming that are finding other ways to commune with one another and finding other ways to connect and to be fed spiritually. That doesn't always have to take place in the church,
Right.
Absolutely.
because the church is a building,
Mhm.
and it's the people
Right.
within the church
We are the church.
that
Yeah.
mobilize it. And so if you
Absolutely.
can mobilize it outside of the four walls, just as Maestro mentioned, it doesn't have to always take place within the building itself. Because a lot of times what
Yeah.
happened, people wasn't mobilizing it outside. It was just all about what was happening in the church and paying your
Right.
but nothing was happening outside the four walls. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
I'm the
COVID in some regards was like a reset button for the church. And I think a lot of them missed that mark because
Mhm.
God kind of
I agree.
stopped us, in our tracks and gave us an opportunity to restructure, redesign our worship experience and come up with, stop doing things the way that we used to do it. But now that COVID is over with, churches are now falling back into the same trap that they were in before COVID. And people are not coming back now. Now people are watching church online. They're paying churches in churches that they're not even in the same city, but they would rather pay that because they see where their funds are going through outreach or even through the Sunday morning production of
Mhm.
worship. It's
Yeah.
one
Mhm.
church I was watching, and I can't think of the guy's name. I think it's Tim, but Kim Burrell is on the praise team. And I was watching
Oh,
him and
Tim.
her, and these people, they were just like putting a major production on
Right.
in their
Yeah.
Sunday morning
It's dope.
worship.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. But the church, they kind of missed the mark with COVID. I
Mhm.
believe that was just a reset button. Get your stuff together. And a
Right.
lot of them didn't get on board with it. So we got another question for
Yeah.
you guys. Where do you guys go for? I'm assuming they mean where do you guys go for your inspiration? So how are you guys inspired so you can keep on inspiring the world?
I'm inspired in many different ways. As far as for music, to be honest, I really don't listen. Even though I write spiritual and religious music, I don't listen to a lot of like gospel and Christian music. I listen to mostly R&B, and so for me, I use that as inspiration to, which I know I'm not the first to do it. Like you have Kirk Franklin, you have many artists who have created this contemporary sound of their own. And so I kind of just wanted to kind of carve out my little piece of like contemporary music that mirrors a lot of the music that the sound of music that I like to listen to, but just has a different message behind it. So I get
Yeah.
inspiration from listening to other artists. I get inspiration from several different genres of music. Sometimes as far as for writing, because I do enjoy writing, I look within a lot, and I look at I try to really write and tell a story from just experiences that I've either had or things that I've seen and witnessed that I feel would be impactful and probably a little different from what we may hear on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
Yeah.
John?
Yep.
I pretty much what he said. Pretty much just more so life experiences is where I get my inspiration from. Kind of dig deep, figure it out, and kind of put it on paper. I don't listen to a lot of music. I support those that I'm close to, and I'll listen here and there. But as far as I just don't want to get it like mixed up and confused with my sound and um so I kind of stay away from that. But as far as inspiration, yeah, it's just my life experiences, man, and then different people around me that kind of pour into me as well. So
Okay. Corey?
Yeah, I'm like both of the brothers. I do the same thing. Like I people would think that I listen to gospel music, praise and worship music every day, all day. I do not. But there are times that I can listen to a common CD and then write a song and be
mm,
extremely inspired and just amped. But I I don't know. I think it would be the same thing for me. It would be life experiences through my own personal prayer time and then sometimes I'm just walking through the house and songs come to me based off what I'm feeling or what I'm experiencing in that moment, and then I may go back and grab it later and finish writing it when it comes back to me. I kind of like hear music like I'm listening to it on the radio, and if I like it, then you know how we will go back and repeat it, or we'll go look for the artist, or it's kind of like that with me. But it really is kind of like a little bit of everything. I have seasons where I listen to a lot of music. I have seasons to where I'm like brother down here. I just kind of ride in the car and just gotta have quiet, and it is that way. But I do listen to other artists, and I'm also gonna purchase you all's projects.
facts.
So I know y'all said y'all don't listen to a whole lot of gospel, but no, I'm just playing. But no, it's from everywhere,
Yeah.
for me.
Okay.
You can
Nice, nice.
theater, all of it.
So let me ask you guys this here. So all of you guys are pretty young, and I know John, even though you sing secular music, you do come up, in a Christian home and everything. So do you guys feel an extra level of responsibility, like when it comes to, and I'm just gonna go to God, when it comes to representing God, do you like feel a extra level of pressure being a young adult? Do you believe like, well, I can't do this or I can't do that because I'm a Christian singer or I'm a preacher's kid. Do you guys feel any pressure with that? Or do y'all just like act like the millennials? Hey, I'm just gonna go do it and you deal with it. Well, y'all kind of like all millennials a little bit. Yeah. So
Right.
A little.
Oh, for
Um,
me, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead, bro. I was gonna put y'all on the spot, some show.
For me, it was some pressure there. Just being a pastor's kid, I've always had
Absolutely.
that pressure on me anyway. So that's something that I've always carried on my back. But when it came to music and putting music out and then just performing on the stages that I do perform on, it was a little pressure at first. I'm not even gonna lie. I was just like, man, how are they looking at me? How they, what are they gonna receive? Especially knowing me from the church scene and then now on this scene, like, how am I being perceived?
Mhm.
Like, are they gonna look at me and be like, oh man, like, is that gonna drive them away from church or bring them to like? It was a lot, man. It was a lot. But I really, as I was saying earlier in the show, like once my parents kind of gave me that okay to kind of do, live my dream.
yeah.
God put it in me anyway, and that's how I feel about it. So after that, it was more so of, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't save the
Yeah.
world. Those you can reach, they're going to gravitate to you. There's always somebody else that they can actually go to for what they need. I'm not going to be able to fit everybody's need, but after
Amen.
that, it became easier. It definitely became easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Corey?
For me, it used to be, and when I say that, because I like my album is more of a like more inspirational slash worship is on there too, but it was difficult for me to actually just do that because I felt like everyone was gonna be like, oh my God, what is he doing? Where is he going? All of that. But I'm like him. I feel like you're just telling stories. You're just having conversations, and it. I think being more concerned about what people will think, other than expressing yourself in the way that God created you to do. So that would be more my concern now. Like, would God be pleased with what I'm doing? Is this my sound or am I stealing somebody else's sound? Like we were talking earlier, it's just being true to what you've been created to do. And that will reach people. Like he said, he sings in spaces and stages that you wouldn't expect somebody to come up to you and say, "Hey, I was really touched by what you," and then they want to know Jesus, and he's singing about love. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it is possible. So I used to be, but within the last few years, I'm kind of like, you got to let that go, and in whatever capacity God desires to use you in, you just have to be open and ready to do that and express yourself in that way.
Yeah.
And Mon-
Remain true and unapologetic for who
Absolutely.
you are. I mean, that's
You
Absolutely.
one
got
thing,
to.
especially in church. You
Period.
have to be, when you feel convicted and you feel as though God has called you to do things, you cannot
Hmm.
apologize
Absolutely.
if people do not agree
Absolutely.
with it. It's not for them to get
Yeah.
it, it's for you to do it. And Monte, we back
Yeah.
on you.
yeah, for me, initially it was the same way, like just as others you stated, where I felt like, oh, even as a worship leader, there were
Hmm.
boundaries that the church would put on me. I remember this
Right.
one church I was a worship pastor at. They one of the members saw me out having a glass of wine, and she came back and she told the pastor, and it became this real big to do, and so they even kind of boxed me in. So it just got to a point, just to make a long story short, it got to a place where I wasn't being authentic and true to myself, trying to portray this image of what I thought other people wanted to see or what they expected of me as an artist, as a worship leader. And so I had to kind of come to grasp with myself and just kind of say, like, okay, what is true and authentic and real to me? And just as they mentioned, there are other people who have those exact same experiences. And so if I can be an artist that can captivate that and write that and be that, I guess, the image of that Christian that still wants to kind of like live life and turn up a little bit, then I'll be that person. So definitely,
Not turn up a little bit.
And
yeah.
I mean, it's funny because I remember I was ministering music at a church when I was like 28, 30, around that age bracket. And that was like one of the most miserable times of my life when I look back on it, because I definitely felt that pressure. You're young and you see everybody else doing different things. And, the church is telling you everything is wrong. I mean, everything is wrong. You listen to secular music. That ain't what God wants you to do. You do all of these things and you feel such a level of pressure from people that in most cases they are not even doing what they supposed to do, but they put all of this pressure on you to be perfect, and it just make you so uncomfortable, in your role. So yeah, I mean, you just have to get to a place where you know what God has told you to do, who God has created you to be, and you be unapologetic for it, because half the saints in the church, they ain't got their stuff together. So hey y'all, we got some songs for y'all to sing tonight. Yeah, some of these I think y'all may not know. Let's see. So the first song, and we're just gonna let y'all decide if y'all want, whoever want to take it, but somebody needs to take it, okay? First song is Jesus is Love by the Commodores. Y'all know that? Father, help your children. Y'all know that?
I know that Jesus is love. That's all I know.
Yeah. Corey, you don't know this one?
I hate it.
Know it?
Nah, he said he hated it.
But do you know it, Corey? Do you know it? Just
I
sing a
don't.
little
I
bit.
used to get mad every time somebody sang it when I was a little kid. I used to be like,
Okay. So,
but no, I do know. I know just as much as he knows.
Okay, so there y'all go.
That's it.
So
I don't know
no
it.
Commodores, nobody before 1989. So we're gonna go to Ernest Pugh. Y'all all know Ernest Pugh, and they are asking for Perfect Peace. God will keep you in perfect. And I know Corey know that one for sure.
I know the background.
Oh Lord!
Come on, Corey, sing a little bit for us.
I've never led it though. God will keep you in perfect peace. That's all you get.
Come on, keep your mind stayed on
I don't know the rest of it.
Okay, he don't know the rest of it. So y'all
Yeah,
need to give us some songs that they know.
The background.
Okay, so we got one more. We got some more. So they have Beautiful by Music Soul Child.
How beautiful, so beautiful.
And Miracle suggested that one, John. So she must know you know that one, buddy, because she suggested that.
But the rest of your life.
Okay, so go ahead. Who's gonna bust it up?
By your side.
Hey.
Come on, Monte. Go ahead and break it on out, man.
All the words on it. You're my baby, my lover, my lady.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me if you feel the same way. Does it just feel so nice? I don't know the words.
I don't want to waste your time. Girl, if I had to choose, I know I'm gonna always choose to be with you. 'Cause girl, don't you know? Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So they said anything. So y'all can pick this, and we're gonna let all three of y'all. Anything by Luther Vandross. So any song by Luther. What y'all got? Come on, Monte, we'll start with you.
Luther.
Y'all don't know Luther either?
There's still a chair, even if there's no one sitting there. I don't know the rest. But a chair is not a house, and a house is not a home when I climb the stairs and turn the key. Oh, please be there, saying that you're still in love with me. I wasn't prepared to sing tonight. I didn't.
Whatever. Okay, so Corey, what you got by Luther?
Listen,
Or
I
you can
was
do Luther
cheating and
Barnes. You know
Googling.
Luther Barnes songs?
No, I don't. I was looking. Look, go to my other brother. I was cheating, looking up songs on Google. Right?
Look, I was
Okay.
just about to do the same thing because I really don't know
Man,
Luther
I'm
songs
like,
like that either.
I love his voice, and of course I heard him growing up all the time, but I never actually learned it.
Okay, so they
Yeah,
have a song out there, Superstar. Y'all know Superstar?
superstar.
Or If Only for One Night.
That's one.
Yeah.
Oh my love. Is that Superstar? That's not Superstar.
Is that Superstar?
That's
That's not Superstar, is it? 1,000. No, that's not. What's Superstar?
Okay, so I'm going to pick some songs.
That's Stop to
then.
Love, I think. That he was
And I
saying.
know y'all know some of these songs. So we have one, Charlene by Anthony Hamilton. Y'all know that one? What about any tunes from PJ Morton? Y'all know anything from PJ?
PJ's dope.
Y'all only know y'all own music?
What's that PJ song that I like?
Okay, so they just
Man,
said This Little Light
Oh
of Mine.
wow!
this little light of mine.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna give y'all the most simple song.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, I know y'all know this song. Y'all know Lamar Campbell's More Than Anything, right? Everybody know that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just do the vamp. We'll start with Monte, then Corey, and then John. Y'all just can do that I love you, Jesus part. Let's go with
Okay.
that.
I love you, Jesus, and I worship and adore you.
Same.
Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything.
Okay,
Yes,
Corey.
sir.
I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you that I love you more than anything.
I love you, Jesus. Oh, I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you that I love you more than anything. I'm a little raspy tonight.
And let's try it all together. So, Monte, you take the high, Corey, you take the middle, and John, you take the bottom. So here we go. 5, 6, 7.
Right.
I love you, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you that I love you more than anything.
That is what
I don't know how on time we were on, but I bet you they like, oh, wait,
Like,
no.
what's going
Hey,
on?
we can't control Wi-Fi connections, but that sounds like amazing. So, okay, well, we can't let y'all go just yet. So we got to get some more singing here because that was like really, really good. So, y'all know any Tank songs?
Tank.
I don't want to sing his songs on here, so
Oh, you don't want to sing his songs on here?
y'all talking about the devil music and stuff, nah.
Hey, we have one of Tank's #1 fans watching here, so you yeah, she's like one of his #1. Every concert he goes to, she's at it.
Wow.
Okay, so let's
one.
see what else is out that's fresh right now that's hot.
I was gonna do a Tank song.
Go ahead and do a Tank song, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Turn down the lights, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside of my head. Lay here with me and tell me no lies. Just let me
Hold me close.
closely. Don't patronize. Don't patronize. Oh, 'cause I can't make you love me if you don't.
Yeah.
You can make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart and feel the power if you want. No, you won't. 'Cause I can make you love me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I
man.
no lie, guys. I just heard that song for like the first time like 2 weeks ago. And
What?
I
Really?
instantly became a Tank fan.
Yes,
That dude
sir.
Yeah, Tank
kills
sings.
Yes,
that song.
sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
It's just
sir.
like amazing. Okay,
yeah, he's
so
really good.
John, Do Love by Music Soul Child. I think that was the name of the song. It
Love.
was like on
Okay.
this.
Love. There's so many things I've got to tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how. 'Cause there's a possibility that you look at me differently, love. Ever since the first moment I spoke your name, on and on I knew that by you being in my life, things weren't destined to change. 'Cause love, there's so many people use your name in vain. Love, those who have faith in you sometimes go astray. Love, through all the ups and downs, the joy and hurt. Love, for better or worse, I still will choose you first. My throat all dry and stuff. But yeah.
Oh my
That's
God.
dope.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
Corey,
Yes,
I
sir. Yes,
got
sir.
one for you. So this is gonna your church members not gonna put
Uh-oh.
you out. This is a Christian song.
Oh, Lord.
Jonathan McReynolds.
Oh, okay.
Make Room.
I know it too. Oh, Lord. I've sung it. I just can't remember. Um,
I
oh,
find
Lord.
pleasure. I find pleasure.
I can't remember the melody. Oh, Lord. What is the chorus?
I'm not a singer, so I'm not gonna do that to the listeners tonight.
Y'all don't know the chorus? One of y'all
Oh,
know
they
how the
said
chorus
don't
goes?
mess this up, Corey. They got the pressure on you, man.
No, yeah, because that's oh Lord, I can't think of the chorus.
I
That's what I
find
was gonna say.
pleasure. Y'all didn't know
Yeah, but
you
I
were
can't.
getting a concert tonight. They said y'all didn't know you were giving a concert tonight.
Mm,
Not at
Okay,
all.
mm,
so what's a song Corey can do, guys?
mm.
Well, what's a Jonathan
Um,
McReynolds song you can sing off the top?
mm, mm.
Oh, I got one
You know
for you.
Black or White?
Uh-uh.
What was the
Not
last
unless I'm
worship?
singing it with the
Okay,
Okay.
what about Jara by
I was just about to say that.
oh
Maverick City?
yeah, of course.
Yeah, let's go for
The
that.
Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. So I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough.
Yeah.
There it is.
Come on,
That's what I'm
runs.
talking about.
Listen,
So, John, do you know Make Room? They want to hear Make Room. They got on it. Somebody don't
I
put the
cannot.
lyrics up
I
here.
just like make room. I can't. I just cannot think of how the chorus of the vamp goes. Oh my god!
You can move
One of
on
y'all.
over. You can move
Yeah.
on.
is that that's the I Will
I
Make
just
Room?
cannot.
That's how I would make room.
Yeah.
Well, you know Black or White,
Yeah.
John?
Gotta be white or black. Other partner. I really don't know the lyrics. I just know the medley.
Lord, they killing us on these comments, y'all. They said
Oh
I sing
my
that at
god!
karaoke.
Wow.
Okay, so and we'll close out on this here. So we'll let you guys go around the table on this one here. So when you are in a low moment, what is a song you tend to gravitate to that encourages you? That what's a song that normally when you're in one of your low moments, what is a song that you normally gravitate to? Oh, I mean, y'all are millennials. Y'all don't have bad times. Y'all just everything is good.
No,
Yeah.
not necessarily. It just depends because it can be so many
It's
different
a lot of
songs that
different
you can kind of grab. Yeah.
So whenever
Um,
when I'm in my feelings, I listen to Adele 25.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear a song.
Oh no, I don't sing Adele.
Okay.
I know one song that I kind of pull from is Holy Ghost, fall down on me. Let your spirit fall down on me. Holy Ghost, fall down on me. Let your
Yeah.
spirit fall down on me. Yeah, that's something I go to all the time.
Okay. Corey, what do you go to?
I need thee, oh, I need thee. Every hour I need thee. Oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee.
Sing.
Monte?
Great is thy faithfulness,
Yeah.
oh God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions, they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever will be.
Wow.
Come on with the chorus. You can't stop there.
Great is thy faithfulness.
Yeah.
Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand has provided. So great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. I'm sitting on my breath.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fellas, this has been amazing having you guys here. This has been, just amazing. So, but before we go, Monte, tell us where they can follow you. Where can they get your music, man? How can they stay connected with you?
You can follow me on all social media platforms at monte.everyday. So that's Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Twitter is monte.everyday. That's where I'm at.
Okay. And what about your podcast?
Oh, so I have a vlog. It's called Can We Talk About It on my YouTube channel. I haven't been posting on there as regularly as I should, but definitely go to my YouTube channel because that's where my music videos are. And so that's just Monte Henderson on YouTube. Subscribe, check out the video. It just released last Wednesday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And John, where can we find you other than Instagram?
So all social media platforms at John_Maestro. You can also go to my website at johnmaestro.com. Keep up with my latest things that, dates, whatever I got going on, it'll be posted there. But yeah, John_Maestro on everything.
Nice. And Corey?
At Corey Barrett Sings on Instagram and on Facebook, Sing Corey Barrett. And I'm on all digital outlets as well.
Okay. And when you guys are saying all digital, that means Apple, Amazon,
Spotify, yeah, Shazam, everything.
Yeah. And people, if you haven't learned anything tonight, please, and this is for any independent artist, it is great for you to stream their song. It's great, but it takes a lot of streams for these people to recoup their money. So go to these platforms and download their songs, buy them.
Please.
Don't just stream it, buy it. And then not only do you buy it, please tell someone else about it. And just pay it forward, because what you do for them, you are doing for yourself. So when you support somebody else and you pour into somebody else, you are pouring back into yourself, because everything we do, it comes back to us. Good, bad, the ugly, beautiful, everything. So support these guys. Subscribe to the Dope Ass Dude podcast. We're on YouTube, we are on TikTok, and we are on Instagram. So sign up to that. New episodes every Monday, and we definitely going to get these guys back, and we're going to have choir practice before we get these guys back.
Listen, sing these songs before.
They can learn some Luther songs that y'all want them to have, and some Benny Hinn and some ZZ.
Benny Hinn.
All of this stuff, because it seemed like they didn't know none of this stuff. So let me make sure we didn't have any questions come in. What they say, y'all make sure to go check out. Okay, that was that. And then, okay, so they saying y'all sung very, very good. So, fellas, thank y'all for being here on the show tonight. I am so appreciative of you guys. And that's a wrap. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Nice meeting y'all.
Likewise.
Me too.
Likewise.
All right.